Did you know the PSP turns 20 this year? Sony's legendary handheld sold over 80 million units, becoming a huge part of gaming history. Well, today I'm bringing back some great memories with 10 amazing PSP games you can play right now on your PlayStation Portal via cloud streaming. How many of these games did you own or even rent from Blockbuster on a Friday night? Let me know in the comments. First up is Ridge Racer 2. Who remembers drifting round corners, blasting nitro boosts, and banging techno music? This game was perfect for quick races, addictive gameplay, and awesome nostalgia, especially those remastered classic courses from the earlier Ridge Racer games. This game to me is handheld gaming bliss. I love arcade games. I love playing on handheld consoles. This was an absolute masterpiece for the PSP, and I would love a new Ridge Racer game. Namco Bandai, whatever you're called now, please make another one. And that's probably going to be a theme on this list. There's a few games here that franchises seem to have been forgotten over time, which definitely should be revived given the amount of garbage games that get released these days. Some of these definitely deserve another go round in the gaming world. And if you ever played Ridge Racer on any of the home consoles, I loved Ridge Racer on the PlayStation 1. Ridge Racer Revolution was my game. I absolutely loved that one. Make sure you check this out on your PlayStation Portal. You will not regret it, and the visuals hold up really well. This game looks class. Speaking of graphics, this next game looks even better than you will remember because it is actually a remaster of a PSP classic with updated graphics, updated sound, and new gameplay mechanics. That game is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, an emotional action RPG prequel to Final Fantasy VII. Following Zack Flair's heroic story, this game featured a unique real-time combat system, blending action and strategy alongside an unforgettable soundtrack and gripping storyline. And yes, that powerful ending still hits hard. If you know, you know. Now, if you were a fan of the Mishima story in the Tekken games, this next one has got you covered. Tekken 6 delivered the ultimate portable fighting experience on PSP, bringing arcade-style one-on-one battles right into your hands. With a huge roster of characters, customizable fighters, and super smooth gameplay, it was a fighting game fans' dream come true. Especially if you grew up loving the Tekken franchise like I did. Tekken 3 to me is still the GOAT, but the first three on PlayStation 1 were just untouchable. And when you revisit Tekken 6 on the PSP via your PlayStation Portal, I think you'll be blown away with the visuals. I cannot believe this was a PSP game. It looks so freaking good. But there is some other games that we would like to see also added, like Tekken 5 Dark Fate, for example. That's an absolute banger. And we will discuss at the end some other games from the PSP library, which we would love to see added to the cloud streaming beta. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Syphon Filter Dark Mirror was a thrilling stealth action game where you played as Gabe Logan, a secret agent uncovering global conspiracies. The gameplay emphasised a good variety of gung-ho action and some controlled stealthy bits, so that your submachine guns are just as important as ninja-style silent kills. This is good for people like me because stealth should basically be optional for every game for me. I suck when it comes to stealth games, I just need to go in Rambo style, all guns blazing, and there's plenty of that in Syphon Filter. Especially compared to some of the other games, I would say this one is a bit more action-packed. Next up is a game which is a bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. Ratchet and Clank Size Matters. Now, I think this game gets some unfair criticism because it was a fun PSP adventure. Now, compared to the home console games, it's not as good. But remember, this game was running on this tiny little handheld console 20 years ago. The game offered classic 3D platforming action mixed with quirky weapons and puzzles, just as you would expect from a Ratchet and Clank game, exploring vibrant worlds, planet by planet, battling enemies and collecting items made it perfect for short, enjoyable gaming sessions. And let's not forget that catchy retro soundtrack. When you play this, just even the first level, I'm sure the music will hit you in the feels. Resistance Retribution stood out with its unique third-person shooter gameplay, as previous games in the franchise were all first-person shooter games. This change ended up making it feel kind of like Gears of War on PSP. That's what I felt anyway. Let me know if you know what I mean. Intense firefights against the Chimera kept us on edge, and it's even better now that we have proper twin stick controls on the PlayStation Portal. And to me, this is another franchise which Sony has left dormant forever. It would be really cool if we got a new Resistance game. Let me know if you'd love to see that down below in the comments. Now we're going to a galaxy far, far away with LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, was pure joy, and I'm sure it was the childhood game of many of you watching right now. Gameplay involved exploring famous Star Wars locations, solving puzzles, and engaging yet simple Gameplay involved exploring famous Star Wars locations, solving puzzles, and engaging in simple yet fun combat. PSP fans got special bonuses like exclusive prequel episodes and challenge modes, including a unique Darth Maul level, which is just the best to me because I love Darth Maul. Why did they kill him off? Actually, no spoilers in case you've not seen any of the movies. Just ignore that last bit. But we need more Darth Maul in the world. That is what I'm saying. Mixing LEGO humour with Star Wars adventures never gets old, and if you've played any of the LEGO games, you know this is a good time. Now for an absolute underrated gem, an absolute masterpiece if you ask me. You know I love arcade games. Arcade games and games that are just crazy fun is what I think the world needs more of, and that is where Pursuit Force Extreme Justice comes in. Who remembers Pursuit Force Extreme Justice? Pursuit Force Extreme Justice was an absolute adrenaline pumping action game packed with high speed chases and over the top stunts. This game was so ridiculous but so much fun. The dude at the start actually shows up to his wedding in his police uniform. Like, it is so freaking good. It just puts a smile on your face the way video games should. You'd leap from moving cars onto other vehicles, battle gangs, and enjoy an awesome soundtrack. It was the perfect handheld action game, keeping players glued to their PSPs late into the night. I bet many of you had sleepless nights playing this very game on your PSP under your covers. Fun fact, Extreme Justice was also meant to support cross-platform save games, allowing players to transfer progress between the PSP and the PS2 versions. However, the PS2 version was never released, so this option was never used. I think we should have a petition for a new Pursuit Force game. These are the kind of games we need. Nothing serious. There's too many serious games out there now. It seems like too many live service games, too many Souls clones. Give me some more crazy arcade games, please, world. That would be awesome. Let me know if you'd like to see a new Pursuit Force or any other kind of arcade game, because I'm all for it, 100%. Another dormant, really good Sony franchise here we're going to discuss next is Killzone. Yes, Killzone Liberation took the first-person shooter franchise in a bit of a new direction and brought some strategic action gameplay into a top-down tactical shooter. You navigated intense battlefields, completed challenging missions, and experienced gritty combat scenarios. That dramatic opening cinematic perfectly set the game's tense war atmosphere. Definitely a blockbuster rental favourite, this game, I think. Let me know if you rented this one down below in the comments. Another genre of games which I think is fantastic on handhelds is twin stick shooter games, because they just lend themselves really well to the smaller screen, and that is why on this list we have Super Stardust Portable is on this list. A thrilling twin stick shooter where you defend planets from endless waves of enemies. Now it's even better with dual sticks on the PlayStation Portal, making the arcade fun you loved on PSP even better on the PlayStation Portal. And as I said, games like this are just ideal for handheld consoles and the PlayStation Portal, so definitely check this one out. I'm sure you'll all love it, and probably a lot of you have never heard of this. If you had this back in the day, let me know, as I don't think this was very popular, so let me know if you had Super Stardust Portable 20 years ago. Now, it's cool we can play these games on our PlayStation Portal, but there is a ton of games in the PSP back catalogue, and many of them I bet you that you played a lot of are not on this video because they're not available in cloud streaming yet. We'll do an updated video in the future if they add a lot more, but there's a few that jumped out to me that I would love to see added. I mentioned Tekken 5 Dark Fate, would love to see that. Another one for me, and another dormant franchise, Wipeout Pure. I mean, Wipeout to me is just synonymous with PlayStation. When I think of Wipeout, I think of PlayStation. I know you can get Wipeout on N64. I've got one of them sitting up there somewhere. You can't see, it's too dark. But I just always think of that. I know it was on the Sega Saturn as well, but I would love to see a new Wipeout game. That would be fantastic. Think what they can do now with the visuals on PlayStation 5 at 120 FPS. This is a game which would be made for high frame rate gaming. Anyways, let me know if you would vote for a new game of Wipeout on your PlayStation. Next up, this franchise is going to take over the world at some point this year or next year if it gets delayed. Hopefully it doesn't. But I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto. So here we have Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories. There's also, I think, Chinatown Wars was on PSP, but any of these games would be fantastic to be added to the cloud streaming beta so we could play them on our PlayStation Portal. They would just be fantastic. They're just made for the smaller screen for things like this, and they are still just absolutely classic games. And another reason why I just love physical games, who misses getting things like this? I mean, look at the manual done like the newspaper from the game. And then you get a poster as well. There's just so much awesome nostalgia. Hopefully GTA 6, obviously you're all buying a physical copy because why wouldn't you? Hopefully it comes with the map inside and a cool manual as well. But they're the ones that jump out to me. There's a whole bunch of other ones. You've probably got your Monster Hunter. There you go. Monster Hunter Freedom. That would be cool to see in there. What else would we like to see? The God of War games from PSP being added to the cloud streaming beta would be fantastic. And let's think about more awesome arcade games. The Burnout racing games. Why have we not got a new Burnout game? The last one we got, I think, was Burnout Paradise, which was meh, it was okay. But some legit Burnout games would be fantastic. And I love the Sega arcade games. I know you could get Sega Rally 2, I think it was, on PSP, Sega Rally. Any of these kind of games would be awesome. Let me know what games from the PSP back catalogue, which you played back in the day, you would love to see added to the cloud streaming beta for nostalgia overload for yourself. 20 years later, these PSP classics still hold a special place in our hearts, and playing them on your PlayStation Portal makes revisiting these memories easier than ever. So how many of these games did you play back in the day? Let me know your favourites down below in the comments, and for some underrated gems to play on the portal, check out this next video on screen here somewhere. I'll put it on screen somewhere, just click it right now. Do it.